Yeah, sticking to a system. Reason why we have the system here is because they keep you in line. Because, without that, without the bumpers or system, your mind can go in a million different directions, and you're gonna start, seeing things that aren't really there in the market. And we try not to catch falling knives. That was another big thing. It's like trading falling knives or skyrocketing price. Like trying to catch tops and bottoms. That's going to burn you a lot in the market. Like, for example, over here. Good thing we had a stop loss here, right? Because if not, this thing would just kept going. And because we had this 30 pip stop loss here, that would have been, if we didn't have a stop loss, this thing went 87 pips out of our favor and just kept going. So this is the reason why we use a key stop, because like I said, the trend, this downtrend is your friend until it bends. Downtrend to uptrend action here. So good thing we put that on there. Anywho, now it's time to rate yourself. Discipline, following your rules. I'll give myself 7.75. Risk management, 9. Emotional control, I'll give it an 8. Patience, selectivity, I'll get a 7.2. Journaling and review, 9. Consistency, 10. Now let's talk this year now. In 2026, oh yeah, by the way, you don't rise to your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. You fall to the level of your training, too. So, anyways, the trader, you, I, and everybody that's within our crew is becoming as someone who trades less, but better, because less is more, quality over quantity. Prioritizing execution over emotions, like excitement. It happens to everybody, where you start seeing a lot of good quality profits, you feel like you're on God mode, and then the market humbles you. It humbles me, It humbles everybody. All you can do is just stick to the execution here. You got to be cold, calm, cool, calculated, all that jazz if you want to win. There's this 90-90-90 rule here. And this is the truth about the markets, where 90% of traders lose 90% of their capital within 90 days because they don't understand, within their first couple months, what to actually prioritize, and protecting your capital at all costs. Defense is the best offense in basketball, in football, in trading. It doesn't matter. Defense is your capital protection. If you want to stay in the game long term, defense comes first, then we can worry about our profit potential. 2026, strengthening the defensive side of things. And then the system also deals with the offensive side of things, where we have our confirmations to get in, and then we, just execute ruthlessly. Not because it feels right, because it looks right. No. Because we checked off all the boxes in our strategy, and then we can place the trade. And you're going to take L's too. I take L's every month. So does everybody else. It's just a part of the game. You just got to take it to the chin, keep moving forward. Some of the best traders in the world have a 60% win rate. Think of MLB players, like the great batters, like what's that guy on the Dodgers, Ohtani, 0.335, something like that, batting average, meaning he's missing 65% of the time. Think about it. The guy that's regarded as the GOAT of baseball at this point, surpassing like Babe Ruth, all the legends to ever play on the diamond. And in this modern day, he's missing 65% of his swings, yet he's regarded as the GOAT. Think about it. So everybody, no matter how great you get, Curry's missing 50% of his three-pointers, right? Like Brady, like what did he have? Like a 65%, 70% completion percentage? He's missing 30% of his throws. Like all these greats out there, they're missing. They're taking L's. Like they're not hitting everything right off the top. And trading, it's no different here. You're going to miss. You're going to take the L's. Like no matter how great your trading is. So take it to the chin, keep moving forward. You're in this to be in business for yourself, to be great, to be self-sufficient, and to add another income source to your tool belt as a high quality man or woman for the ladies that are watching this recording here. Anyways, treat this like a profession. Think about this. And actually, like, I'm going to read this, and I want you and anybody watching this recording to really think about it. And I'm going to pause for 30 seconds, and I'm going to reflect myself as I read this. If I showed up every day like a professional trader, those boys on Wolf of Wall Street, those guys on the New York Stock Exchange and the Tokyo Stock Exchange, if I showed up every day, Monday through Friday morning to the afternoon, like a professional trader, I would blank. 30 seconds of silence. A moment of silence for reflection. All right, time is up. If I showed up every day like a professional trader, I would. Allow me to tell you my thoughts here. I would. Once again, I sound like a broken record here, but I would ruthlessly stick to the system that's built here. Never, ever, ever, ever editing your stop loss. If you have a preset stop loss, never move that. Risking 2% or under on every trade. If you ever feel like you're getting way too emotional or, you're internally turbulent, I know that was a tongue twister, but take a step away. If you have a losing streak of like 2-3 trades for the day, call it quits. Don't revenge trade to try to get it back, because more oftentimes than not, it's going to result into you breaking the rules, deviating away from your system, and letting your mind, keyword here, get in the way. There's a lot more that comes into it, but that's a couple to actually show you the attributes of a professional trader. So some non-negotiable trading standards. Kind of just rattled off a couple seconds ago, but like, don't take trades without 4 confirmations here. So let's go into section 3 here. Some actually realistic trading goals here. So think about what your account size is. If you don't have an account right now, think about the account that you would like to have, right? You can jump to the target account size. Let's say you're using a $500 account. I would say compound it to $5,000. Little base hits over time. They could compound. $500 to $5,000 really isn't that hard to do if you're consistently hacking away at the market. 1%, 2% trades. And then, of course, you'll have your home run hitters that'll actually grow your account from 3 to, the upper tier of 4 figures. And then even the 5-figure range. Let's say you just acquired a funding account that has 50K in it. You could probably grow that to like 75K if you really wanted to. And then actually think about why this number makes sense. And it's all just a byproduct of your training, your hard work, not deviating away from the system, and just rinsing and repeating. Securing profits, risk-free trades, good trade management, good risk management, not getting sloppy with your technical analysis. That's what it's all about. Now let's talk performance goals, because I don't like really talking about monetary goals. It's more like ROI, percentages. That's another big thing too. Like, a big shift for me this past year too was deviating away more so thinking about money and more so percentages. Like, I talk in terms of percentages, ROI, like 1, 2, 3% risk to reward, instead of actually money, because money, there's a energetic frequency associated with that where we get very emotional and things get very slippery and tricky when it comes to just talking about money in general. So I like to help you all out to trade better by focusing more on percentage gains on your account. It's like when we say, if you had a big trade, my question for you would be, not how much money you made, but what was your ROI on that trade in relation to your overall account balance. So let's say I have a $100,000 account and I made 35 pips on that. All right. And I risked like 1% on that. That would be 1 to 2%, somewhere between that range. Anyways, performance goals. Choose 3 to 5, if not the whole list here. Following your trading plan on 90% of your trades. I was a little gracious here because, if you're a beginner, it's going to be really hard to strictly follow it until you actually get your mind wrapped around the market. But follow your trading plan. Like, trading plan includes your schedule. Are you showing up at a consistent time every single day, Monday through Friday in the markets? Are you trading the right assets? Are you following the actual criteria to get in and out of the markets? Little things like that. Never risking more than, you could put 1.5%, 2%, 3% if you're very aggressive, but I don't recommend really risking more than 2% on a trade. These days, I'm only risking like 1.5%, 1 to 1.5% per trade, if not less. There's some times where I'm risking 0.5% or 0.25% on a trade, but I'm also utilizing a 6-figure account too. So it's different for everybody. But regardless, you never want to risk more than 1 to 3%. Instill that in your mind because that's what's going to keep you in the game long term. Journaling 100% of your trades, even if it's something really, really basic, only A+ setups, reducing over trading. This is also a really big thing. Like, knowing when to stop is equally, if not important, when knowing when to trade. Let me repeat that one more time. Knowing when to stop trading, to pull yourself away, is equally, if not more important than knowing when to actually get in the markets. I've seen this time and time before where a lot of great traders, they will start their trading session off with a very big win. But when is enough really enough? Especially when you feel like you're on top of the world, especially when you're on a hot streak, a winning streak, and every trade's just hitting, and then you hit another trade, maybe it might be a B-, C+ setup, and then it takes away like half, if not more, if not all of your gains. So over trading, it is a very, very big toxic, and I use that word very strongly, it is a toxic trait in the markets. So my recommendation for you is have a set limit towards how many trades you take per week or day. And for me, like even every month, like I'm only taking 15, 20 trades a month, if not less. Improve your risk reward consistency. So you always want to have the odds stacked in your favor. 1 to 3 risk reward trade, 1 to 2, where the reward is greater than the risk. And then improving your patience during news events. As you know, there's high impact news events that transpire every week. Some of them are a lot more volatile than others. So it's being able to maneuver around them, wait for the chaos to settle. If we have interest rate statements on any given Wednesday, it's best to wait 30 minutes to an hour after those things happen instead of getting in on the action and riding the tidal waves of some serious news events that could severely impact the market. And then last but not least, improve your trade management. So are you actively setting your trades to risk free after a trade goes 20, 30, 35 pips in your favor? Are you taking partial profits? Are you actively monitoring your trade if you're in front of your trading station? Or are you on the go? How can you actively manage your trade? Are you actively taking profits? Are you holding the trade? Little things like that. When the trade's in motion, are you making the right moves here? Top 3 performance goals for 2026. I'll tell you mine right now, and that's to 3x my income, baby. Right off the top. So think about that for yourself. Mine is 3x my trading income. It's to have more detailed journaling on my trades. It's to be even more thorough than I already am in terms of my articulation of my trades to myself, to everybody that's part of Velocity, and so on and so forth. And even better entries too. So, section 4 now, system alignment. Your primary trading system is the one that's already pre-built here, the Confluence trading system, or are you using a different version? But it must be rule-based. You must know where you're getting in or why you're getting in. You must know why you're getting out. And you must know why you are setting your stop loss in that specific area, wherever you're putting it. There must be a rhyme or reason why you do any action in the market, and it can't be based off of emotions. I'll tell you all that right now. And that's something that I'm always actively asking myself. What is something that I can always be better on this week in the market? I'm always reflecting on the past month, the past week, on my big wins, why I took losses, why the market moved a certain direction, what information I can find out of the market to make myself a better trader. It's all about the finer details here. Confirmations that I will require, and this is a statement to yourself. This is the rhyme and reason. It's more so like these here. The news is just something I added as like an extra layer. Market structure, if we're in an uptrend, are we positioning ourselves in the proper area to buy? If we're in a downtrend, are we positioning ourselves in a proper area to sell? Are we placing our trades off of key zones in the market? Are we placing our trades off of key price levels? Half, whole, quarter points, all those psychological levels. If the market's approaching something like the 78.6 Fibonacci level, layered over these confirmations, is it there? Has the market produced an imbalance that price could magnetize back to? The volume profile, I don't use too much these days, but it's a great indicator. If the market's at a point of control, something to consider. If you don't know what this is, there's a video on this in the training sessions tab or in the Velocity course. And then moving averages, if we're below the 200 or the 50 EMA, it's a great trend following device that we're still in sell mode. If price is above the 200 and the 50 EMA, it's a great trend following device that we're still in a buyer's market. And if I don't have the minimum confirmations, I will not trade. You can reduce your risk or wait for confirmation. Let's talk risk management, because this section, it's the boring work, it's the dry, mundane stuff, but it's the stuff like this that is arguably the most important. So, max risk per trade. We already talked about this at least 3 times, 1 to 2%, if not less. Max trades per day, 1 to 3 really gets the job done. Max loss per day, you really don't want to go over like 3, 4, 5%, somewhere in that range. Max loss per week, you could say 10%. Max loss per day, 3 to 5. Max trades per day, even this could be like 3 to 5. Max risk, anything under 2%. If I hit my max loss, what are you going to do? What do? Pull myself away from the markets. Do anything else other than trade. Get your mind off of it, refresh, detox, meditate, get back to emotional equilibrium here. Word of the day, emotional equilibrium. Not sure where I pulled that one out of, but hey, that will definitely help you. Come back to the markets when you're cool, calm, collected. If you're fighting with your spouse, do not trade. If you are really, really sick and your mind is elsewhere, trying to get back to good health, don't trade. Don't force it. Always come to the market when you are at a very good mindset. That's the point here. Capital protection rule, just have your stop loss ready to go. Don't trade without a stop loss. That's like a roller coaster without guardrails. You're going to get flown out of the market. You don't know what's going to happen when the trade is placed. Control what you can control. Your risk, where you get in the market, where you position yourself, and how you manage yourself while the trade's in motion. Psychology and behavior plan. My top 3 emotional triggers. Something to consider. So, yeah, your edge, which is your advantage in the market, it disappears when emotions take control. Talked about that, it's just worded a different way. My top 3 emotional triggers, I'll tell you right now. My top 3 emotional triggers are if I take a loss of 1% and I immediately want to get back in the market and revenge trade and get it back. But you got to halt yourself. You got to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. I can't just get back in the market here just because I took a loss. I need to get back in the market because it makes sense. But these are also, these could be non-trading related. Anything in general that might impact your trading. Think about it outside of trading that might impact it too. My other top 3 emotional triggers is leaving money on the table. Leaving money on the table. And what does that mean? It's like we have a clear A+ setup, but there's some hesitation. Leaving money on the table, hesitation, that's another big one. And then another emotional trigger, I would say lack of patience. Waiting for the market to come to our strike area. And sometimes it could take time. It could take days. It could take a week. It could take 2 weeks. We don't know when the market's realistically going to come to our area. All we know is we have our area of confluence to strike at. When you feel triggered, what will you do? Step away from the charts, reduce your risk. You could go in your trading journal and log it and all the details behind it, or just stop trading for the session, for the couple hours. My personal reset rule, meditate. Meditate. I also just work out in general. That's another big thing for me is like if I'm having a bad trading session, I want to get my mind off of things. I'll go out, do a strength training session, get my mind off of it, do some cardio, meditate, do things that are going to revitalize yourself. Read, anything. There's an endless list. Eat some healthy food, do things that are going to nourish you. My daily trading routine. Me, what do? It's going to sound cheesy, but I light a candle or light incense because my trading atmosphere is everything to me. Your atmosphere where you trade, and this is one of the first things that I ever teach people, is the atmosphere that you trade in, your trading environment to be specific. Light a candle. On all my sessions, I always got a little bit of very chill music out because it all falls down to your environment. Light a candle. Chill tunes. A minute of breath work. Get you through it. During trading, cool, calm. The 4 C's. Cool, calm, calculated, collected. Post-market review. Grade yourself. How'd you do? Actually review the trade, logging the actual trade. Right after I'm done trading, logging the trade and its details. 5-minute post analysis on how the trade transpired. Weekly review. Journal. You can use Notion. You'll see in the resource library, I got a couple different trading journals for you to utilize. You could use a photo gallery one where you just post screenshots of your trades, or you can do it traditional style on a spreadsheet. Either one works, but what matters most is that you are tracking your trades so you know where your strengths lie. You know, one big regret I personally have years ago is not tracking my work. My first 4 years in the market, I didn't track anything. I freeballed everything, and that hurt me. That's why it took me, I have 9 years of experience in the market, and half that time is being profitable because I didn't do any of these things that I'm teaching you all today. Anyways, just make sure you're tracking your work, whether you're using a Google Sheet, a Microsoft Sheet, whatever the case may be. I use Notion, and this is part of it being a business, is just tracking your work. You can't refine if there's no data to actually look at here outside of, your MetaTrader 4 or 5 or your whatever you're using to trade. But I recommend you have it on a spreadsheet or something else so you can see your weaknesses, your strengths, the details behind your trade, emotions, how you are feeling, and so you can refine your entry points. Second to last, accountability and commitment. In 2026, You owe it to yourself to commit to showing up consistently, being honest, brutally honest with your executions. If it was a D- setup, you forced it because it looked good. Keyword, look good, but not checking off your criteria. Be honest with yourself about it. Trust the velocity process too. What does that mean? The system we built here. Let's follow the criteria. And ask questions when you're confused. Closed mouths do not get fed. If there's something you need help on, we are here for you. You have a backbone here. You have a boxing coach, hypothetically speaking, of course, showing you how to do your left hooks, your right hooks, your uppercuts in the market. And if you can't swing right, let us know. Because we've been there, we've done that, we've seen almost every single market condition possible. Crashes, flash crashes, price skyrocketing, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pips. And above all else, this is a marathon. Let me zoom into this. And let me add to this. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Wealth is built in the long term, okay? This is not gambling. This is not a quick trip to a casino. This is the long game where wealth is built. So just play the long game here. Trust the process. Each step of your system takes time to learn. To get the mind to muscle connection in the market takes time. To understand the patterns in the market, it takes time. Give yourself grace. Attack each specific section in the market, like risk management. I'll work on that. Trading off of zones. I'll work on that. Understanding shifts in the market, like what constitutes as a market structure shift from an uptrend to a downtrend or vice versa. These things, they take time to learn. So play the long game, give yourself grace along the process, and compound your accounts gradually over time. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. You're going to get your home run hitters. They're going to come, but it takes time to get there. You can't force nothing. The market's going to do what it's going to do. All we can do is just position ourselves properly in the market in the best areas possible. Perfection is not a thing here. You're only going to be stressing yourself out if you strive for perfection here. Just progress over perfection. It's one of the best pieces of advice I can give you all. And the one sentence you're going to promise to yourself as a trader to cap this call off. In 2026, I will. I'll let you guys fill it out. I'll tell you, for me, it's to be a better leader in the markets, to articulate my studies a lot better to you all, to show you the ropes a lot better, to show up when it matters most for you all, and to be a more refined trader myself, even almost a decade in this game. And in total, that is the goal-setting masterclass. One speed, one direction, we all move forward. And now you know exactly what needs to be prioritized in order to hit your goals, your profits, being a byproduct of your executions, of course, in the market. So with that being said, folks, that is how you start your year with the utmost power, setting the proper foundation.